Before starting, how to prepare to turn your garden into a true color program. If you are new here, subscribe to the channel so as not to lose any of our advice. And if you enjoy this content, share it with friends who also love gardening. Before starting how to prepare to turn your garden into a true color program. If you are new here, signed to the channel so as not lose any of our advice. And if you enjoy this content, share it with friends who also love gardening. Now let's go to what really matters. Know the plants. They never stop flourishing. 20 plants that never stop flourishing. Guide complete for a colorful garden throughout the year to have a flowery garden. To length of the stations is the dream of many people who love gardening. This includes beginners from cultivating mental plants to experienced enthusiasts in search of species that bring perfume, color, and beauty continuously. Although it looks like a challenge, there are several plants whose flowering is almost uninterrupted, or can maintain flowers for long periods, ensuring a natural show at any time. In this article, we will present 20 plants that are well careful, can flourish almost throughout the year. Or for large parties, we'll also find cultivation tips, historical curiosities, forms of pruning propagation, and care to avoid pests in each species at the end. His knowledge about these plants will be wide, helping to maintain a garden full of life and color. 1. Geranium pelargonium. Description and characteristics. Geraniums are extremely popular plants in gardens and balconies, known for their flowers and intensely colors in the tones of lilac and white, pink, red, belong to the genre of pelargonio that differ from true gene-genic geanians, but are commonly called source geraniums. South Africa growth characteristics generally form shrubs or solid small that can reach up to 60 cm high, with rounded leaves and slightly velvety. Historical curiosity were introduced in Europe at the end of the century 15th, where popular ornamental plants became greenhouses and real gardens. Cultivation climate and lighting prefer, or at least see you 6 hours from direct sun per day in very hot regions. It is good to offer some strong soil shadow, well drained and rich in organic matter. A loose substrate helps to avoid rooting. Moderate roots. Let the ground dry slightly before watering. Again, since excess water can cause fertilization, fungi-balanced fertilizer every 30 days during the winter growth period reduces the pruning frequency. Low flowing. Flower removal after each flowering wave helps maintain the compact propagation plant and common pests propagation, mainly by stem batteries. Cut a branch of approximately 10 cm, withdraw the base leaves and put it in humid substrate until it is rooted. Pests and diseases can be affected by white flies and fungi in humidity. Conditions excessive is attentive to the back of the leaves. 2. Petunia X hybrid. Description and characteristics. Petunias are extremely popular, especially in gardeners. And flowers of flowers suspended by their trumpet. Shaped flowers and the varied colors that go from white tones to dark red, purple, and even mixed South America origin. Surprising characteristic, profuse flowering that can extend from spring to autumn, and in more soft climatic regions, almost everything. The year care of the light culture. I love the sun full. The more hours of the sun, the more intense. Only a fertile and well dry soil is the roots of petunias can rot if there is a regular water soak. But without excesses. They need moisture to support flowering, but do not tolerate the soil-soaked fertilization every 15 days. Apply a balanced fertilizer, for example NPK 10, 10, 10, or 14, 14, dissolved in pruning water. Remove withered flowers and can slightly control curiosities and maintenance petunias. History arose of crosses between native species of Brazil and Argentina propagation in practice. Most petunias hybrids are produced by seeds or seedlings in nurseries. Since rooting pilus is less common, pests generally attract slugs and aphids. Check the plant regularly and keep a pound of dead leaves to inhibit the proliferation of pest. 3. Lantana. Lantana camara. Description and characteristics. The lantana is a bush extremely resistant and striking that produces laffs of small flowers in vibrant colors that can vary from yellow to red and even purple-orange. Tropical regions of the Americas and Africa, the highlight precipitately continues in hot climates, attracting butterflies and cultivation. Care bees. Climate prefers hot and sunny regions. In the hard winter places, you can lose part of the leaves that will reject slightly acidic soil in spring. And well-drained tolera serapur, but responds well to fertilization. Organic moderate water supports brief periods of drought, but regular irrigation helps maintain intense flowering. Pruning. Tolerates the most drastic pruning for control. Its size after flowering. Pruning stimulates new outbreaks. Additional care. The sap can be toxic to domestic animals as well. Be careful if there are cats or dogs that can bite curiosities and propagation. Curiosity in some countries. Antana is considered invasive as it grows vigorously. Propagation made by silent or seeds that often germinate spontaneously in the garden. Quattro Bougainvillea. Bougainvillea. SPP description and characteristics. Bougainvillea, also called spring in some regions, is a firewood for a great landscape effect, thanks to its colorful bracts that look like petals, in tones of red-pink. White-pink or orange origin. South America, especially Brazil, and close tropical regions' striking features can cover pergolas, fences, and walls, forming spectacular flowers of flower care of the crop. Light, the more sun receives, the most intense is the color of the brasters. It is essential for flowing well-drained and preferably rich in organic material. Moderate water allowing a slight drying between water, and another the plant is relatively tolerant of the prune drought required to control the format and stimulate new branches. BGA Villea flourishes in branches. Young fertilization use fertilizer. Rich in phosphorus NPK 4148, for example. To favor historical curiosities, Discovery carries the French browser name Louis Antoine de Banville, who popularized the plant in Europe in the 16th century. See verbena, officinalis, and hybrid description and characteristics. Verbenas are medium to size plants that form flowers in tones of red and bicolor purple. Red-pink are excellent for low consumption gardens of water, since many varieties resist well with the heat and drier soil. Origin tropical and temperate regions of the Americas. Characteristics of flowering flowers in practically all stations, as long as you receive sufficient sun care of the complete sun and lighting for a larger flower production, well drained, and can be slightly sandy. Water moderate, prefers not to be soaked. Fertilization. A complete fertilizer. Every 20-30 days in the period of greatest flowering you can. Remove dried flowers to encourage new outbreaks, curiosities, and propagation. Verbena medicinal use. Officinalis has traditions of use of herbs as relaxing and against headaches. Propagation by seeds or piles. The seeds germinate easily, especially in the hot climate. Ixora, Coccinea. Description and characteristics. Ixora is a bush, tropical perennial leaves, widely used in landscaping for the beauty of their dense inflorescences in colors ranging from living to yellow and pink. Origin tropical regions of Asia. The most highlighted, the flowering can occur practically throughout the year in tropical or subtropical areas, with heat and humidity. Cultivation. Sun straight or half shadow in very hot regions. A slight shading protects the soil leaves well drained, and Ixora acid benefits fertilizer containing regular irrigation iron and like constant humidity, but without soaking fertilization. Use fertilizer rich in phosphorus and micronutrients, especially iron, to maintain the color of pruning leaves without pruning. Drastic only elimination of dried branches or sick curiosities. In some Asian countries, Ixora flowers are used in religious offers and event decorations. 7. Alicia. Alyssum. Lobular. Maritima description and maritime characteristics. Lobular, popularly known as alyssum, produces small curl flowers, usually in tones of white-pink or purple lilac with a sweet perfume. Characteristic origin. Coastal regions of the Mediterranean flower, practically continuous in soft climates. Since it is quite rustic, care of the light culture prefers full sun, but tolerates the half-shadow soil, loose and good soils. Frequent water. We water, but without soak. The ground must be slightly wet. Fertilization. Every 20 days, use a balanced liquid fertilizer. Pruning the dry flower extraction stimulates a more vigorous flowering. Curiosities attract pollinators. Flowers release a sweet perfume that attracts bees and butterflies, ideal for a garden. Pollinating. Very easy propagation by seeds. Germinating in 71 days. 8. Fuchsia SPP description and characteristics. Connacht by its pending flowers, often called pending princess in Brazil. Fuchsia has vibrant colors like purple and white, red, pink, and South America origin, and central flowering in soft climates. Can flourishing almost all year, is more intense in spring and summer. Cultivation. Light, prefers half shade or the soft sun in the morning. The very strong sun may burn the only rich in organic and well drainy. Rigue likes constant humidity, but always soaking. Check the soil surface, balanced fertilization. but rich in fertilizer phosphorus every 15 days. In the period of greatest flowering can do after flowering, eliminating weak branches to stimulate the new outbreak curiosity's history. The name Fuchsia honors Leonhard Fuchs, a German botanist of the 10th century attraction. The tubular flowers attract the attention of the hummingbirds. 9 Ceraria, Picalis X, hybrid description and characteristics. The cinema is valued for its colorful flowers that can vary in shades of blue, pink, lilac, or blanco, generally, with the contrasting center form, a medium-sized group origin. The flowering Canary Islands is concentrated in spring, but with the correct care it can prolong. The flowering cultivation light prefers partial shadow or diffuse light. Since the intense direct sun, you can wither the flowers only light and well drained. Keep a constant humidity, but without soaking temperature. Enjoy the soft climate. 15 GMAC range in very hot regions can suffer fertilization. Use balanced liquid fertilizer every 15 days during pruning flowering withered flowers to extend the flowering period. Propagation and tips generally spread by seeds is often cultivated as an annual plant since after flowering. You can lose vigor. Advice: avoid very hot or cold airstream. The Ceraria appreciates the environments. Fresco 10. Hibiscus. Hibiscus, Ross sinensis. Description and characteristics. Tropical hibiscus, also known as hibiscus, produces large, intense flowers like red, rosa, orange, and yellow, with a long and striking central neighborhood origin towards tropical continuous flowering in hot climates. Every hard flower one day, but the plant continues to produce many others in sequence. Cultivation culture hot and humid in colder regions, is grown in greenhouses or environments protected during winter, only rich in organic matter and well-drained irrigation. Regulate the hibiscus loses the lack of water, but be careful. With soaking fertilization apply, NPK 41-48, or similar to flowers, every 30 days you can do in winter or early spring, eliminating weak branches and stimulating a densest form. Culinary use: some species of hibiscus, such as hibiscos, SDIF, are used to make refreshing drinks spread by teenage branches that are often easily rooted. SPP description and characteristics known as the leader or lirio of Calla in English. Calla produces cup-shaped flowers that can be yellow, white roses, or even purple, depending on the South Africa origin variety. Flowering feature in soft climatic places with correct irrigation. It can flourish for much of the year. Cultivation. Luz prefers the half of the shadow, but to the sun of the morning, the direct light very strong. It may burn the leaves rich in organic matter, with good capacity to moisture. Retention. Erg keeps the ground constantly wet, but not soaked. Fertilization. Rich in organic matter such as humus worm or compounds. Organic pruning. Normally, the ojas and dry flowers are eliminated to maintain the aesthetics and health of the curiosity's plant symbol, the white flower too. It is often associated with purity and elegance, being widely used in bouquets of marriage spread by rhizomes that separate from the mother plant when it is numb. 12. Dahlia pinnata description and characteristics. Dahlia is loved by its large flowers, with multiple layers that are in virtually all colors and shapes, simple folded pom-poms, etc. Origin: Mexico and Central America. Summer flowering to autumn, and can be extended in hot, careful climates of the full sun crop. Need at least 6 hours of direct soil, well-drained, rich in organic matter, watering the soil slightly, wet but without soaking fertilization. The formula rich in potassium, for example, 10-10-15, help flowering pruning withdraw. The constantly withered flowers to prolonging flowering curiosities and propagation history were sacred to pre-Columbian civilizations in Mexico. Propagation by tubers that are. They can dig and replant themselves, can also be spread by seeds, but the characteristics can vary. 13 Chrysanthemus. Chrysalidimo. SPP description and characteristics. The chrysanthemum is a florist garden classic, presenting a wide variety of colors. White, yellow, pink, orange, pink in shapes. Simple type, folded pompon origin. Asia, mainly China and Japan. More intense flowering at the end of summer and autumn, but in greenhouses or climates. Soft, can flourish almost all year. Care of the complete sun crop, or at least 4 hours of daily sun, only rich in organic matters with good drainage. Regular irrigation without soaking fertilization applies balanced fertilizer. NPK 10-10-10 regularly to favor flowering pruning after the flowering to stimulate branching and formation of new buttons. Cultural curiosities in Japan. Chrysanthemum is a family symbol, imperial, and is associated with longevity spread in lots of branches. Young or Group Division 14, the Lavandula angustifolia band. Description and characteristics. Lavender stands out for the striking aroma and its purple flowers in widely elongated ears, used in cosmetic perfumery and aromatherapy. Origin: Mediterranean region, flowering mainly in spring and summer, but can extend to autumn in climatic places. Favorable. Cultivation. Full sun needs a lot of shine to grow and bloom, well drained and slightly alkaline. Small irrigation lavender is tolerant of drought, being more affected by the eye soak and annual pruning after. Flowering stimulates the growth. More dense fertilization usually does not need much fertilization, but a low nitrogen fertilizer Curiosities can be used historical use. In ancient Rome, it was placed in bathrooms to pierce the propagation water, mainly by branches of branches. 15 Aster sepping description and characteristics. Beings resemble margaritas. The flowers can, being white or blue roses with normally yellow nucleus origin, temperate regions of the northern hemisphere, flowering final summer and autumn, but in soft climates it is possible. Organic with good moderate water drainage, especially during the floral buttons formation. Fertilization maintains light and frequent fertilization to stimulate more flores. Pruning after flowering, remove the dry rods. Curiosities symbol. The name Aster comes from the Greek that means star propagation by seeds or division of groups. 16. Oleandro oleander, Nerium description, and features oleandro is a bush or a small tree that produces large and striking. Flowers in red, pink, or yellow, often with folded petals. Origin Mediterranean and subtropical regions flowering. It usually extends from spring to autumn and can persist in warmer climates of loose. Full sun cultivation is essential for abundant soil flowering. Any type of well-drained soil even tolerates poor soils. Water. Moderate drought resistant, but a better flourish. Irrigation. A balanced formula flourishes. NPK. 10, 10, 10. Every 2 months favors flowering, pruning the dry branches and thin to stay in. Form important caution toxicity. All oleandro parts are toxic if they are ingested, and wise can cause skin irritation. Of animals and young children. 17. Mandevilla dipri. Description and characteristics known as duodenea, or mandevilla, is a bit of large flowers in red or white-pink tones. A tropical touch to the South America origin. Brazil and regions adjacent, flowering from the late spring to autumn in weather. Warm can be extended almost all year. Care of the full sun, or at least 4 or 5 hours of light, only rich in organic and well-drained reg, moderate without soaking fertilization, rich in phosphorus too. Stimulate abundant support. Flowers needs armor or climbing support since its branches are volatile Curiosities. Use of the ideal landscape for balconies, pergolas, walls, and armor generally spread by teenage branches. 18 Camellia. Camellia japonica. Description and characteristics. Camellia is a bush or a small tree with large and elegant flowers that can be white or red-white. Some varieties have petals, semid-obrat. Others completely folded. Origin Asia, mainly Japan, China and Korea. Flowering many. Species bloom in winter and early spring, but hybrids can have flowering at other times. Careful crop half small. Full sun in colder regions but avoid heat. Extreme acid rich in organic matter and well-drained regular water. Keeping moisture without soaking fertilization, use fertilizers. Specific for acidic plants such as azaleas and vegetables. Pruning generally made after flowering, eliminating weak branches and shaping historical Curiosities. Symbol in Japan, camellia is called tsubaki and symbolizes devotion and longevity. Ornamental use highly appreciated in the gardens. Orientals 19 chard, Bet vulgaris versicula description and characteristics. Chard is cultivated mainly as leaf vegetables, but produces floral rods that can bring a touch of color flowers and green seeds and attract pollinators. Origin region Mediterranean colors and varieties. There are red or purple targets, giving beauty to massif of flower create cultivation. Sun full or half shadow, only rich in well-drained organic matter. And fertile, frequent watering, since you need moisture for the good development of fertilization. Estiacole well, as organic compounds regularly reap. The leaves can be harvested when they reach sufficient size, prolonging production Curiosities. I use leaves and stems are edible, rich in vitamins and minerals. Propagation by seeds that they germinate with relative ease. 20s. Bromelia family, Bromeliaceae. Description and characteristics. Bromelia are tropical plants that include hundreds of genres and thousands of species like Gusmiocolorida inflorescens and leaves arranged in the rosette origin, mainly tropical America flowering. Some species can maintain inflorescence for months. Cultivation of light vary. Many prefer half shadow. Others tolerate in full sun. Substrate generally cultivated in a very aggressive substrate, because in nature, many are epiphytes grow in trees. Water the it should be maintained in the central glass, formed by the leaves, often changing it to avoid proliferation of mosquitoes. Soft fertilization with diluted liquid fertilizer, applied directly to the rosette, or the substrate can remove the dry leaves. The plant mother dies after flowering, but generates puppies outbreaks at the base that curiosities can be replanted. Perfect landscaping use for gardens. Vertical solid vases of flowers and interiors. Biological curiosities serve as habitat for small organisms, storing water between the leaves. Conclusion. Having a flowery garden throughout the year is not just a matter of luck or a perfect climate. It is mainly the result of planning the selection of appropriate species and dedication to attention. Regulate the 20 plants presented here were selected for their long flowering adaptability and beauty. But that does not mean that they do not need attention. Choice of the right plant. Take into account the type of soil, the solar hours that the site receives, the water availability, and the predominant climate of your region. Soil preparation. Use good quality substrates. Enrich with organic matter and guarantee adequate drainage to avoid root rot problems. Balanced irrigation. Most of the enumerated plants require moderate or dry or soaked water is essential to observe soil moisture before watering again. Fertilization relevant a good fertilization regime, adequate for each species. More phosphorus to stimulate flower fertilization. The use of micronutrients, etc. will keep the plant healthy and favor the flower pruning and cleaning the elimination of withered flowers. Dry or sick branches revitalizes the plant and stimulates the production of new flowers. Annual or seasonal pruning ensures a form and adequate vigor prevention of pests and diseases. A clean environment with ventilation and good lighting inhibits the proliferation of fungi and insects harmful in case of infestation treats as soon as possible with organic methods or light defensive respecting. The health of the environment when applying these good practices can enjoy the vibrant colors and scented flowers of these species for many months a year. Also, a garden florido not only rejoices the environment, but also contributes to local biodiversity. Attracting pollinators such as butterflies and hummingbirds, try to combine several of these plants in a harmonious way, forming mixed beds or creating prominent points with vines such as boogapuff and mandevilla floral bushes, lantana, ixora, hibiscus, and petunia coating Verbena alyssum diversity is one of the great secrets to maintain the always renewed and interesting garden during the different stations. Whatever the size or location of its space, a large backyard, a small terrace, or even indoor pots can choose plants. Correct that will give a color program at almost any time. The nature is generous, and with correct care, there is always something flourishing. To delight eyes and hearts before starting how to prepare. To turn your garden into a true color program. If it is new here, subscribe to the channel not to lose any of, and our advice, and if you enjoy this compart content. Hello with friends who also love gardening. Now let's go to what really matters. Know the plants that never stop flourishing, how to turn their garden into a paradise of colors and aromas put into practice. The tips you have learned here, and tries to cultivate at least one of these 20 plants that never stop flourishing. Then return to share your experiences and photos. In inspiring other, in love with gardening, so that do the same. If you liked the content, leave your comment, enjoy and share. For more people to create their own flower shelters, we grow together on this green trip.